Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stone Face Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some more Vinland Saga. Last episode was Freedom, where Gardar asks Arnhi to take their son Hajati and leave with them, but is confronted by Snake. Wait, I'm sorry, that's episode 14. It just met my eye level and I started reading. Alright, the actual last time was Storm. As a storm approaches, Arnheid walks to the Retainers' camp to visit Gardar and treat his wounds. She is immobilized by guilt over what has happened to her, but Gardar suddenly leaps up and, although still bound, bites the guard's throat, killing him. He convinces Arnheid to cut the ropes, whereupon he slays the remaining guards and escapes with her on foot. Snake returns to find his men slaughtered and angrily sends his men off to kill Gardar. The next morning, in the barn at Circle's farm, Einar and Thorfinn discuss how to stop the cycle of war and slavery, but Thorfinn does not see how things can change while Norsemen gain respect through their physical power and success in battle. He wants to find a way to atone for his people he killed and create a place where people don't need swords. Einar replies that that place must be beyond the reach of the Vikings, prompting Thorfinn to recall the land far west mentioned by Leif. Their discussion is interrupted by Fox and the others arriving to search the barn for Gardar. So we left off basically in the middle of things.
I guess it's pretty fair. I'm not a history buff, mind you. Although I do have my favorite bits of history. But, in the realm of things, I just don't remember Native Americans ever using swords. So,
If I recall what the historical account of Vikings in North America is that eventually the two came into conflict, and the Vikings who settled were eventually pushed out and or just killed.
right,
So they didn't stick.
not what I was talking about, Griff.
Oh, well, it's not like they got taught how to smith things, I guess. Not in the
We've
whatever time
we've literally done this, I think, 3 or 4 times now, talking about Vikings in America. I'm talking about specifically, I don't think the Native Americans made swords.
In general, no, they did not.
Like Asia had a history with sword warfare. Europeans obviously had a history with sword warfare. I don't think Africa did. I don't recall any sword. Well, I guess technically. It depends what you figure history to be. Because the Roman legions in Carthage were in Africa, and they used swords, but they're not base African. I don't know. Are they Carthage? Carthage, would you consider that base Africa?
Mediterranean?
Yeah, but I mean, that's still Upper Africa. That's Northern Africa.
Everything like in North Africa, Spain, Italy, like that whole region, like is all kind of like interconnected historically. But
well, I guess if you're going to cut off the Mediterranean side of the African continent due to mingling with the European side of things, then I don't know. I don't think South Africa had swords. I mean, that might just be the influence of more racist depictions of in media. I mean, I'm trying to be fair and open about it. Like when you see like the Zulus versus the British in movies and like such, that's I don't know. They also had guns there because they stole it from the dead British. So it's hard to...
Well, the thing is, like, swords in general are either a status symbol or an absolute backup weapon. The primary weapon of humanity is honestly the spear, or, if you like it really long, the pike.
Again, though, it
because
depends.
Turns out stabbing people from further away is, in fact, more effective.
I mean, that depends, because even in, like, the Roman Legion, right, you did have the spear bearers, but you also had the gladius. And that's for your frontline fighter.
Yeah, well, Rome also, like, had a whole different, like, battle tactic going on. It's like, yeah, let's throw javelins until we run out, and then we're out, so now we have swords.
I don't know, the typical depiction of the samurai, right? Which is your, again, Asian variant here.
Mm-hmm. And the samurai historically used the bow and the yari.
Well, actually...
which is just a spear.
Well, as I'm saying, the typical depiction isn't actually with a spear, it's sword and bow.
Right, because that's the honor weapon. That tells you that you're a really cool person because you own a sword. It's a status symbol.
I guess with Chinese history, it is mostly spears, though. You do see swords, but it's like average guy in the thousands of other average guys all have spears.
But no, like I have a respect for the pike in general. Just 20 foot of spear. That's all I need.
Well, I mean, there was that Lindy Page video where he did the people. Not again, it's not LARP. I was about to say LARP. The historical recreation people, where they're doing sword and board versus spear, and I think spear won out most of the time because it's also really hard to figure out where the person's aiming because you're doing like a big old wide circle on the end of the spear, and it's very little motions for you on the back end of the spear. So you don't know where to
cone of very rapid areas you could attack.
Yeah, and you don't know where you're going to be attacked from.
But on to other thoughts, we do have a comment here today from our Patreon, from B. Prinsta, who says, in regards to last episode, the girl Thorfinn imagined walking through the snow was Hordaland. She was the slave of who Thorfinn told about Vinland in Season 1, Episode 8, when she asked if there was anywhere she could run to escape slavery and war. But yes, she is a blonde slave who only appears for one episode, so completely fair to forget her.
Yeah, she was the one that was laying out in the boat when Thorfinn was on the dock. I think I responded to a similar comment in the YouTube section, where I was saying that I thought she was the girl from later in the Season 1, that the whole village gets murdered, and she's the one that stole a ring, and she runs off into the snow. Because comparatively, they wear the same outfits. That girl was blonde too, I believe. I could be misremembering, but she also had a similar outfit and also ran out into the snow alone. A lot of girls running off into the snow alone in the show.
We got a lot of very superficially similar characters, but thanks to the comment, I do remember that entire little period of Thorfinn just brooding with someone else, which was kind of funny at the time. But let's see. But yeah, no, we do have multiple different characters who are going through their slavery arcs, I suppose. I suppose that's just been a thing through the series. So,
I mean, it was in episode 1.
Remember
that slave came up over the hill from dying of frostbite, and Thoros tries to save him.
Yep.
And he has the slaver comes by who literally whips people with chains.
Yeah.
Dan. I remember him because I made the joke. He's only half a Dan.
I'm just thinking back to that, and just they set up this guy as an antagonist kind of character, and he just shows up and leaves, and then he has not been involved in the story ever since. He was just a dude.
He was a slaver, and he was a local variety of. Because I mean, that the runaway slave couldn't have come from very far away. Yeah. He was already dying of frostbite.
Iceland is no fun. That's the answer there.
You mean Greenland?
Greenland is no fun, right?
I mean, by definition, if Greenland is full of ice, then Iceland must be a paradise, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, I think with all that, Theta, any last thoughts before we get into the episode and into the action?
Yeah, that our runaways aren't very good at hiding.
That is true. It's not one of their skill sets, apparently. But at least they didn't hide in Thorfinn's barn.
Well, it just mean on the last time on, they were just out in the open. Thorfinn and Einar just literally run to them.
Well, I don't remember that scene. Was that actually in the next time?
Yeah. I did a whole rant about how bad at hiding they apparently are. That Einar and Thorfinn just literally found them. They're like a hut or something.
I'm gonna guess that they're in the middle of giving up, is what I'm thinking. Despite all the fighting at some point.
There's no giving up. They're gonna kill them.
Yeah, you can give up and be killed. That's totally a possibility.
That dude ripped a guy's throat out with his teeth and then killed everybody from that step on. I don't think he's in the giving up to be killed mindset.
Well, let's see if we can increase the body count before the end of the episode. But right now, let's go ahead and get watching. But before we do, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check us out over on the Patreon. It's just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra.
Click the link down below. Join the Discord. Give us any recommendations for any shows we should watch in the future. Coming to check the barn.
Ah, yeah, we're just doing a redo here. You know, it actually would be funny if they did, in fact, slip into the barn and were just hiding there the whole time while they were having their conversation outside.
Well, no, remember we talked about this last time. They didn't sleep. Neither of them slept all night. Literally, Einar sat at the front watching.
Right.
Contraband?
They're gonna stab the hay until they kill the contraband.
What are you doing with this rock hammer, Thorfinn? And this poster of an actress from 1,000 years in the future. Look at in his eye when Thorfinn was being slashed.
Oh, yeah. So, where does this put, I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember, like, what his name was. It's not Fox the leader, right? No, it was.
Snake was the leader. Fox was either the hair-bun guy that was out in the field, or he died in the woods. I can't remember.
Getting my name straight there.
I'm pretty sure Fox was the guy who was at the barn.
So, I think it's fair to say most of Snake's men are, like,
incompetent.
Normal Nordsmen. Yeah, goofs, I would say, maybe even. But Snake is actually, like, has the serious warrior philosophy thing going on.
I mean, they did get defeated by a guy who only had teeth as a weapon.
Ah, gosh, that's got to be a little embarrassing, right? You know, aside from just dying.
I'm sure we're not going to mention it at the next company review.
Well, it appears this quarter, one half of our staff was killed by being bitten on the neck. Do you have a vampire problem?
Well, I mean, I'm certainly not going to ask Kettle for a raise and bring up how half my men died to teeth in the same conversation.
Was that ominous red skull always at the end of the intro?
I don't remember, but I did see it. I only remember that far shore.
Ah, you're a little bit behind there.
If you came and investigated where these guys slept, and Einar went running off some direction, I would literally have somebody following him. Told you, these guys are bad at hiding. So what's her plan? Pretend I wasn't there where everyone died?
Yeah, what's she didn't leave with him.
トルフィンとエイナルか。
そう、そいつら。何しに来やがった？どうする兄貴？追っ払うか？
いや、構うな。奴らの自由にさせとけ。
Let them say highly incriminating things in front of the windows.
They always love doing that.
アルネイズさん。
はい。ガルザルのことですね。
知ってるんですか？
はい。私が逃がしたんです。ガルザルの縄を切って。ガルザルが見張りの人を、それで二人とももう死ぬと。私
I'm sorry, are you washing your glasses in the same... Okay, never mind.
You just sold the dishes.
Yeah, I know. I thought she was doing clothes at first, and then I saw dishes in there, and I was like, wait. I know, very emotional. Still, don't wash my clothes and my food in the same thing.
また客人が。まずいな。最悪だ。
And then Floki walks up.
Yeah, they just been listening.
エイナル。
No, Floki is with Canute. You're thinking about the same, different people, Griff.
アルネイズさんのそばに。
Floki is on his way with 70 other guys.
落ち着いて。
Which I guess makes the "this couldn't be any worse" line even more funny from our perspective.
You're just rubbing your hand oils into the bowl, Thorfinn. What are you doing?
ガルザルも深手を負って雨の中二人で逃げてきたんです。大旦那様の。
Was it raining last night?
Yeah, it was.
でも手当ての途中でガルザルの意識がなくなって重くて運べなくて、でもなんとかガルザルの身を隠したんです。
ガルザルさんはここにいるんですね。
はい。大旦那様が。
How? The dude can barely move.
They...
Oh, I bet. I hope he's not like right under that guy's bed. Just laying there.
Be really awkward to have like an injured man dying underneath your bed and no one notices.
母屋でガルザルが私に会いに来るのを待ち構えています。ヘビさんとあと二人。
Yeah, that's a good expression, Einar.
Now that we've sworn off fighting, the only way to solve these problems is Three's Company style. Where's Jack Ritter?
If we just dress Gardar up to look like the old master, we can go ahead and walk him out.
Weekend at Bernie style. I mean, what would have been so wrong with a life with Kettle other than his wife? And the fact you're a slave.
Details that they don't remember at the last moment.
Oh, no, it's just... She said it herself. It would be a life of at least guaranteed safety. That's a lot in this world, it seems. I mean, Garter didn't even know that happened yet.
Does he even know now?
Doesn't seem like he would have time to come up. You gotta be pretty dense to be sitting in the house and not be thinking something's going on right now. Man, they started washing dishes and she's crying like a beast out there.
I think the people inside are pretty well aware that Einar is not happy with the whole Gardar situation no matter what.
血がたくさん出て隠した時もまだ止まっていませんでした。
一刻を争うな。
ネイツさん、ガルザロさんと運命を共にする覚悟はありますか？ガルザルさんと共に生きるというなら、二人で逃げるしか。
I mean, it's gotta take something to step into a love triangle and know that you're not gonna be the one to make it a square.
道行きは困難なものになるでしょう。
Kettle's my baby's daddy, but my old husband came back into town, and now's probably not the time to, Einar, for you to try and make your way in there.
それしか道はありません。
それしかない。
Yeah.
Just like, gotta
Hop
give
in
up
a boat
everything.
and go to Vinland.
俺も力になります。二人いれば何か策があるかもしれない。
トルフェン。
Now, this must be the reason why they leave the farm before Leaf gets here, so that Leaf will still not find Thorfinn.
What cast of characters are we getting, like, just as soon as everybody is leaving?
寝るな。
Oh, the fight on the farm that kills everybody that's left.
はい、すみません。
Snake stayed around on the farm just long enough to turn into a villain, so that he can be killed by Floki and gang.
そろそろお昼の用意を。
道具持ってって中庭でやれ。お前はおとりだ。常に目立つところにいろ。
はい、わかりました。
Yummy boiled water.
You know, I was thinking the same joke, and I thought, no, I'd be too stupid to say.
のう、ヘビよ。奴隷とは劣っているものがなるべくしてなるものと人は言う。適材適所だと。だがわしはそうは思わん。奴隷には運がなかった。それだけのことなのじゃろう。わしもお前も運がなければ奴隷になっていたのかもしれん。
Getting that last little bit of wisdom in before he dies.
今度のこととは関係ねえ。こっちは5人殺されてんだ。野郎はぶっ殺さなきゃ気が済まねえ。手下やられたまんま泣き寝入りしてて、この先剣ぶら下げて歩けるかよ。
ならば剣など捨てればよい。
Hey! Episode bombshell.
Well, I mean, he just said, I have to get revenge, which has been the Thorfinn storyline for a whole season, so...
お前もゆえあってここに流れ着いたのであろう。だが剣を捨てねばその家訓は立てぬのではないか。
そろそろ黙れ、じじい。年寄りは昼寝の時間だろう。
Oh, that's one way to shut down a conversation.
土を耕し、命を育ててみよう。剣を振り回すよりよっぽどましじゃ。 わしはもう立って歩くことはできまい。じきに死ぬ。
And all he wanted was a book.
になるには良い機会じゃろう。お前には聖書を読んでもらった借りがあるでな。
Now to figure out how much feelings the snake actually have here and how much of it was just scam. He's got no time to think about it.
あれです。並木の奥から3本目。その木の陰に多分やつだ。
I mean, it does look like him. I was hoping it was like a scout from Floki's forces or something.
What if it actually does turn out to be just like someone who looks ridiculously like Gardar?
It fucking looks like Gardar. He's wearing Gardar's outfit when he first showed up.
He's got like scraps and a little bit of blood on it. Yeah. Thorfinn, you're a little too wet piece.
Unless it's Einar. Einar faking being Gardar in Gardar's outfit.
Oh, to lure them out, yeah.
Yeah.
Einar, why are you out here being so suspicious?
What, I was cold. So I put on this thing that I found.
And you were right.
I was hoping they were gonna run in and pull Gardar from under the bed, like I said before.
つまらん心配はいらん。それよりわしも荷車に乗せろ。わしがいれば農場内で人に見とがめられずに済む。
でもそんな大旦那様を巻き込むわけには。
He literally just got done saying how he was about to die. He doesn't care.
死の子の言わず、さっさと手を貸せ。
Maybe you could also load the bedding into the cart too. That would be. I'd appreciate that.
Nah, we can at burning this.
To be fair, on Einar's half, there's no explaining this anymore. You're actively running and everything.
Oh yeah, no, he's gonna get beat down one way or another, I think. You were right.
I just fucking called this show.
Just absolutely on point today.
Well, all they need left now is to get on a boat and go to Vinland, like I said.
Cold as stone, not moving, no breathing. Yeah, I think he's dead.
At this point, it's basically a Papa Roach song.
どう見たって重傷者の走りじゃねえよな、やっぱ。クモ、アナグマ、そのまま奴を追え。無理に接近するな。奴がガルザルだったら。
I'm about to go get a farm.
後で援軍をよこす。それまでとことん追跡しろ。分かったな。任せたぞ。兄貴、どこへ。
馬車の用意はできてます。急いで南の国境へ。他国へ出てしまえば客人たちも追うのが難しくなる。俺は途中で別れて陽動を追っ手をできるだけ引きつけます。大旦那様は農場の外れまで同行願います。
うん、承知した。
Was he actually standing up there?
I thought he was sitting down.
Yeah, we'll find out momentarily.
Why'd you get off your horse? What happened to your
Our
horse?
horse is probably exhausted.
馬の足音がしなかった。馬を降りて走ってきたのか。
Not only do you not have a sword, Thorfinn, you've sworn them off.
意識がねえのか
Yeah, what are we gonna do here?
感じねえわけだ。
トルフィンさん、
There's only one weapon on the entire farm.
言っておくぞトルフィン。交渉の余地はねえ。おとなしくガルザルを渡せ。渡さなけりゃ切る。
Key.
Warrior vision activated.
追っては3人。だがここにはエビさんだけ。他の気配はない。なんとかして動きを封じればまだ逃げられる。剣をかいくぐって顎に一撃。
やんのかトルフィン。
Ah, askeladd.
仕方ねえかこの際。
Good timing.
純粋な人助けだ。お前には言語振るう大義名分がある。
We gotta have a pair of ghost dads in the show, you know?
もっとも向こうには向こうの大義名分があるだろうがな。どうするトルフィン。あくまで非暴力を貫くか。
Thorfinn's burdened by only having a devil on his shoulder and nothing else.
本当の戦士へ至る道はどっちか。
Askeladd swoops in. It's like, why don't you manipulate the politics of the region to your advantage?
ほれ、目の前。
Oh, he went for it. Did
I'm
he
sorry.
parry with a kick?
Yeah, say, what was that metallic parry coming from? Did you fill the bottom of your shoes with metal? Are you Deku? Hey, Einar, can you
crawl out to
fucking
see
help
this.
me a little bit?
What's anyone else gonna do here?
I mean, Arnhide, not Einar. Einar's out in the woods.
Even Einar would just get shocked and half instantly.
Pretend you got two daggers in your hands?
Yes.
A thing we've never seen Thorfinn do before.
I love this overdramatic setup for the fight scene. We're just going all in on it. I love it.
It's that. This is the most hype fight scene I've seen in the show yet. I don't care about any of the fights that came before it.
Yeah, we've spent a season and a half building it up, right?
Yeah, this is
Everything is on this one fight emotionally.
this is what you want your first fight in your show to be like, but you don't, if you don't have the ability to build it up in a half of an episode, you just give it a season and a half to build up your actual first fight of your guy having no weapons at the end of his cord, just I'm for it. I want to see it. This
Right.
is the
I mean, I
fight
think
that I've wanted to see from the very beginning.
you've kind of said it. If this was like season 1, episode 1, the first fight, it would not matter whatsoever. But because we've had all this time with these characters, everything they want, this whole silly plan with Einar running away as a distraction, this has been like an amusing cat and mouse game that has culminated to this little encounter. And Thorfinn, the person who has spent an entire decade killing people, now is without weapons and no practice in like what 2-3 years. What's gonna happen? Well,
Clearly,
I
one
guess
way
the
or the
Duke
other.
away.
Yeah, well, I mean, only Thorfinn only has to distract them, so we don't know if Thorfinn wins or loses. It's just that he's held Snake in position long enough that they can start going. Sorry,
Yeah.
while you were talking over the outro, there was something in the outro music that I know I've heard it a bunch of times already, but triggered a memory of another anime outro that I was desperately trying to hold on to. That I just cannot for the life of me remember what it is. It's like when you hear a song and all you can remember is, and it reminds you of a different song, and all you can remember is like 3 chords. And you remember that there was like a vocalist and her voice was like almost like this. It's like, God, what song was that? What show was it from? Whoa! Nah, I didn't get there. I did not get there. I don't know what I was trying to think of.
The parallels could have been there, but yeah, no, like we haven't gotten spoiled for what is actually going to happen between Thorfinn and Snake. What is their resolution? How does this fight end? We just know the Gardar in sorry, it's not Einar, it's Einhard. Arnheid, yeah. Do manage to get onto that cart. They are going somewhere. I have a feeling that's not going to last very long, though. Even though the show has
they're not
given
moving
us,
very fast though, so either they're both dying, one of those scenes. I think they're both dying and they're just like metaphorically or, for the purposes of believing that they're getting away, just slow rolling on. But I don't know.
I'm still excited.
I was right the whole episode. I can't be more right any now.
Right, this should be you at your absolute happiest. You have read the story. You have understood it perfectly.
I know what I'm remembering. I'm remembering the intro song for the opening of Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Ah, there you go.
And it's ironic because that's literally has a lyric in there. We didn't learn. So.
Honestly, that is the most appropriate line to toss at Vinland Saga. It's like, well, are we going to learn or are we not?
Well, I mean, Thorfinn went this whole arc of pacifism, right? And swearing away the weapons and swords and everything. And here we are, pretending to have daggers in his hands.
Yeah.
At least I appreciate that Snake is recognizing the fighting style. What's he doing? Well, that's not the way you would hold a sword. And I don't think he means to fist fight me because that's not the right pattern there either. Oh, if he was holding daggers, this would make sense. So I better get ready for a dagger-style offensive.
It is definitely perfectly shonen to have both sides sizing them up. And then, of course, we have our fighter vision where we're seeing the nerve shoot up people's arms ready to go.
See, if this was like Hajime no Ippo, right? They would be focusing on leg muscles, right? Because you'd be looking at foot positioning, the tilted angle of the legs, which muscles in the legs are tightening and whatnot, to see which angle they're going to leap forwards to or anything like that. That's the Hajime no Ippo style. Or even at the hip level to see if they're going to tilt one way or the other. But I do appreciate the reading into of what style of weapon he would be fighting with. Because if you see a guy doing this and you think he's about to start punching you, that's completely different than Thorfinn's style of leaping into the air. Because he's either going to be swinging like this, which would be similar to a punch, because the dagger end would be out that way, or he's going to be swinging downwards at you like a stabbing motion, which could then indicate that he's in actuality going to be going for an elbow.
Yeah, Thorfinn is definitely going to have to do some improvisation on the fly here, but I think with all the setup we have, at the very least, I think the story definitely has been trying to set up that Snake and Thorfinn are equals. And when it comes to, like, fighting people.
I don't know about that.
I feel that's the impression it wants.
No. Because remember back at the, where Fox was chopping up Thorfinn, and Snake came in and just, like, basically owned him.
I don't remember the owning part. It's been a minute.
Yeah, Snake came up and basically said, if you're not willing to fight, you shouldn't fight. And then, was like, right up in his face with not the green, that's just the dead eye thing that we saw at the very beginning of the episode, knowing that he wanted to fight. He basically just owned Thorfinn in that moment, that Fox could not do with a weapon.
Right. Getting a reaction out of Thorfinn, yeah. Well, I think that's Thorfinn's acknowledgement of Snake, really, in that moment. That's what I'm saying about the build.
No, I was describing Snake's eyes, not Thorfinn's eyes. Thorfinn got owned in the moment. He didn't react to Snake like you're describing. Right. It's not something I'm going to effectively describe. You just had to either go back and watch at some point or just take my word for it.
But you know what I mean. Like, the story is trying to set up, like, it could go either way in this fight.
I don't think so. I think Thorfinn, Snake is a today fighter. He can hold a sword. He can practice. Thorfinn isn't allowed to use weapons. Thorfinn has been a slave for a number of years. Thorfinn is back-breaking labor day in and day out. He's only barely been nourished these couple last years. So, yeah.
He's been eating better at the farm now, apparently.
But he's been a slave longer than Einar has been around to help him, get these things done. He hasn't been sleeping well because he has night terrors. He is constantly... Hell, even Askeladd just said, how are you going to beat him if you're only half awake?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, we've already seen in the show that there are some people who are literally just superhuman, and Thorfinn is technically one of them.
He was. Not now. Well, I think we're looking at Snake probably near his best, and Thorfinn is nowhere near his best anymore. And if Thorfinn at his best couldn't even take on Thorkill.
But it does, like, make me think, like, so if they are going to do this, then the only way I can really see it ending, like, at least from your perspective, is Snake slashes into Thorfinn and then just kind of gives up.
Well, I mean, Old Man is still around to give him the whole I'll give you the farm if you let them go tactic, but I think more so, I hate it if it happened, but plot armor, he's a main character, the show is based around him mostly.
Right, I'm not expecting Thorfinn to die here at this moment, but...
I mean, it would be a show that could... It's a show that could pull it off, I don't like shows that do the whole plot armor thing. You know how What would
that show be then? Leif Erikson comes by, sees Thorfinn is dead, and it's like, oh, I guess I'll go to Vinland.
You know how we've had debates before about shows in the past? And one of your main defenses is, well, then what would we do? They're the main character, right?
Yeah.
You've often pointed out to me, well, they're the main character. The show wouldn't work without them. I think it's the same defense you've pulled for, like, D&D games and whatnot. That if you kill the people, then there's no fun to be had because the show is over. The game is over. It's like, yeah, well, but I have, like, the buy-in. I'm sorry, I'm failing to describe what my thought process is now. The buy-in, the belief in the show, right? That if the only thing defending the character is the fact that they are the main character, then why do I care anymore, right? If Setsuna can blow up in a Gundam and fall from orbit and still be alive, then why am I ever going to believe that when you put them in danger, that they are in danger? That eliminates the entire purpose of putting them into fights.
At least here, I'm not expecting them to pull their punches, but I do expect something out of the ordinary to happen in this moment that will somehow resolve the fight. Somehow, Snake will be talked down or something. We just gotta see.
Right. Again, just to finish my thought process here.
Sure.
If you're going to make a show where the your main character is put into danger, you can't just write them out of every danger because they're the main character, because otherwise don't make your show about danger then. because otherwise I'm just not gonna pay much attention to the fight scenes anymore. Because it's just gonna be, here's a reason why we're fighting, here's the fight, which you don't have to pay attention to, here's the after effect of the fight. So, if you just want to know what happens next, fast forward for 5 to 10 minutes. Because otherwise,
too much destination for you, Theta, not enough journey.
Well, I'm saying that if the fight is the journey, then I already know who wins. You know, it's like
yeah, we all know we're going to deliver the Buddha scriptures to the West or whatever. You know, we know we're gonna get there. It's how we get there. Journey to the West reference for everyone else.
Well, no, I'm saying that the point is, you know, okay, say you're a sports fan, right? And your favorite team is about to play, and you can't watch, and you're like, everyone, don't tell me who wins, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody fucking spoils it for you. Oh yeah, the Jaguars are gonna win, and it's like, okay, well, fuck.
How?
What do you mean how? It's a sports game. I mean, literally.
I know.
The options are limited.
I'm just saying, my alternate perspective is, it doesn't matter what the end is. I want to know how they got there. I know that, like, the Rosebud is his sled. Okay, why do we get there?
Spoilers for Citizen Kane, by the way. Griff wants to show off his literary and film chops here, apparently. But also, I think you're a rarer case, Griff, that you don't care about spoilers. Most people will actually do that. I've watched many clips and videos of people complaining about this very specific thing of being spoiled at the movie theater by the ticket sales guy who will make a comment of like about a movie about a dog that dies before the end of the movie, right? And, there's a lot of those kind of movies going around. Why'd you say that? And then they'll describe sitting in the theater, just thinking about it the whole time, figuring out that's how the movie's gonna go, because it's spoiled. You're stuck in your own thoughts.
Let's do the call to action there. Tell us how you feel about spoilers down in the comments. This will definitely not start fights.
Again, you're the rare case on this one.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm not the odd man out in this argument. For some reason, you don't get... I understand that the journey
I'm a maverick.
No, that's not a... Yeah, you and that woman from Alaska. But yeah, no. I understand that your comment about the journey, right? That does matter. But also, it's basically like reading a book twice. Right? Does the journey still matter if you remember most of it or know how most of it goes anyway?
Well, at that point, you know the journey part of it, not the destination.
No, like we're watching Razafon, right? I watched it 20 years ago, and now I'm rewatching it with you. I don't remember every step of the way, but I know how it goes. Same thing for Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You've seen the journey before, Griff. I haven't. So, every step of the way, you know what's going on.
Hey, there's a reason people rewatch things. So, I think I'll probably just end off with that. So, let's go ahead and wrap it up for the day.
I'm glad you thumbs up yourself for no reason.
Because I like giving myself thumbs up.
I think I'll just leave it there.
Yeah. So, that's going to be it for Stone-Faced Reactions for today, everybody. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?